Hey everyone, this is Laura, your Jam Jar Junkie, back with you for another episode. We are quickly approaching Thanksgiving. So for this jar, I printed off a cute little kitty pattern. I will not be using the name of the kitty on the video, but you can find other cute kitty patterns or any other cartoon that you would like to use for your drawing. So of course, the first step is cutting out enough clear contact paper to cover our design. Secure it in place and begin to trace your image. I'm going to cut this into two separate pieces, one for our girl kitty and one for our boy kitty. Keep in mind, we only need to trace the outline of our kitty, the area we do not want the paint to get on. After you finish the image of your girl kitty, secure your clear contact paper down to your boy kitty and trace him. We'll be putting the girl kitty on the front side of our jar and we'll put the boy kitty on the back side of the jar. After you've traced your images, you can go ahead and cut them out. For this jar, I will be using a Yankee Candle jar. The hardest part about using a candle jar is removing all the wax and the labels from the jar. So to loosen the wax, there's two things that I do. One, either I heat up the jar with the wax in it and pour out as much wax as I can, and then I will boil the jar several times until I get the remaining wax out. Or I freeze the jar with the wax left in there, and the wax will come out like a hockey puck. Turn your jar upside down and leave it in the freezer for about an hour, and the wax will come out. Again, if there's any wax residue left, I boil the jar for several hours and continue to change the water out. Also, for the labels, it helps to boil the jar. You can also use fingernail polish remover to help you, or you can use paint remover to help you. Remember to clean your jar completely with soap and water after you finish using your paint remover. After you use your paint removers, you can use a scrub pad to scrub off any remaining sticky residue, or use a scrub brush with a little bit of warm soap and water. So we're going to affix the girl kitty on the front of the jar and the boy kitty on the back of the jar. So you can pull your image off of your contact paper. Try to line them up as neatly as you can across from each other. And now you're ready to go out and spray your jar. For this jar, to keep our fall colors, I'll be using summer squash. Make sure that you spray under the rim really well. This tends to be the area that's hard to get the paint on. After you've given your jar a good 7 to 8 hours to dry, you can remove your clear contact design. You can start tracing your design on white paper. This time, don't forget you'll need to trace all of your details so that when you tape it inside of your jar, you can put all the details of your kitty. Cut your design out. You can go ahead and draw both your patterns. I would recommend you only paint one pattern at a time, because if you do this one and this one, your fingers may get in the wet paint and mess up the other side from where you're working at. Tape your design down inside your jar. Go ahead and get your black paint marker or a thin detail brush and paint the outline of your kitty. For our kitty's bow, we're going to mix a little bit of real red, a bit of orange flame to create a shade of orange red, the brown oxide for the pilgrim's outfit, and we will need some white for our kitty. We will be using just a drop of yellow for the kitty's nose. I did mix the yellow with just a little bit of pink. For our kitty's eyes and buttons, we are going to be using black. I'm going to use a black puff paint for that. I would like for the kitty's eyes and buttons to be raised up off the jar. You can always go back and retrace your black outline if you go over it just a little bit after all of your paint dries. Move your pattern from inside your jar and let her dry. We will be using the same colors for our boy kitty that we used for our girl kitty, our brown oxide, and then we'll be using black. We will use a little bit of yellow for the buckles, the black puff paint for the eyes, yellow with pink mixed together for the nose, black buttons, and our kitty will be white. Don't forget to draw your whiskers on your kitty. There should be 3 on each side. You'll also need to spray your clear coat over your jar to protect your work. And we'll add a ribbon to the top to give it a little bit more flavor. I have these ribbons. They are called novelty trim items. I got these from Hobby Lobby, and as you can see, they're $2.99, and you get a variety of different colors to choose from. I think we're just going to use basic gold for this one, and we're just going to measure out enough to put around the top of the jar. I don't want to make a bow on this one. And I held my ribbon down with just a little bit of the super glue fix all adhesive. And so now for uses for the jar, I would definitely use this as a display for the month of November on a dining room or living room table. I went and bought some flowers for fall so you guys can see and get an idea of what it would look like to use it as a flower vase, and that is super lovely from either side. I got my flowers from Dollar General. I've got some of these little cutout leaves. They also came from Dollar General. I paid $1 for the leaves in a large pack. I would just scatter the leaves around the table and put the vase in the middle with my pretty flower arrangement in it for a beautiful November centerpiece. If you don't want to use it as a vase, you can put your silverware in it for people to pull as they're eating dinner.